So according to John Roca, the scoop is this. Amy Adams is a Jedi. Her son is Force sensitive. Ryan Gosling is not Force sensitive. He is hired by Amy Adams' character to protect the son. Okay? Now, let me add to that. Let me help you out. Let me add it. Let me give you all the fucking context, and then I'm going to fucking bitch and moan. I can't fucking believe it. We're here on a Saturday. I'm going to let it all hang out. Oh, my God. I'm about to spew toxicity like you've never fucking seen in your fucking life. I can't fucking believe this is what we're doing. I can't believe it.
Yeah, so news has come out about Rey possibly being in Starfighter, and Den of Nerds, Josh, is not taking it well. He's had a full mental breakdown, a Star Wars meltdown. He is big time triggered by this.
Amy Adams' character is a Jedi survivor of Luke's temple. Which Luke? That Luke!
Yes, that Luke. The Luke from The Last Jedi, which is also the Luke from the end of The Mandalorian and from the Book of Boba Fett, because Disney Star Wars is all connected and it's all part of the same continuity, whether you like it or not.
She hires Gosling to take the kid to Rey. She hires Ryan Gosling's character to take the kid to Rey because everybody knows. Everybody knows that if you're a Jedi not safe in the galaxy, which, like, why aren't you safe in the galaxy? The fuck did Rey do anyway? She's all the Jedi. She's all the Jedi. This Mary Sue bitch fucking killed Palpatine. So how is it even? What the fuck? What? So anyway, everybody knows, chat, that when your young Jedi offspring is in trouble, you gotta hire a semi-washed A-list actor to play an absolute fucking nobody to take your son to the most valuable asset of the franchise. Okay. So what I'm talking to you about, what I'm saying to you right now, is Goss, Starfighter, is hired to protect and take the child, which, like, stop me if you've heard this one before, right? He's Groguing this new kid to Rey. He's taking the kid to Rey. Because of course he is. And of course everybody knows that when your Jedi offspring is in trouble, you, Jedi that studied under Master Luke Skywalker, are not good enough. Clearly, you need the help of semi-washed A-list actor Ryan Gosling to take your offspring to Rey Skywalker.
So a few things with this. One, he mentions Grogu and The Mandalorian. I don't recall him ever complaining about that, since it is the same thing. A complete nobody taking this Force-sensitive child to a Jedi Master. It's the same thing. Both are equally as shit, but he's so triggered by Rey, he's too blinded by that to see it. And he's just making assumptions about the plot and the characters. He's making up fake scenarios and getting triggered by it. It's really pathetic. Who knows what this secret Amy Adams Jedi is actually going through or dealing with? Maybe she actually needs someone else to help her. That happens. Jedi aren't epic, ultimate badasses. And the only people who really think that way about Jedi are fake fans and Star Wars normies, like Josh and Star Wars Theory.
Okay. So, anyway, this is stupid as fuck. But beyond being stupid as fuck, this really, and I think the reason it hurts me so much, the reason that I'm so mad about it is it, like, takes what was potentially cool, takes something that I was kind of interested in, takes something that I tried to defend. This is what really fucking pisses me off, okay? This is what really pisses me off. Okay, maybe Goss isn't washed. Okay, maybe I'm just a little fucking upset. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, Ryan, on your sock puppet account in here. pointing out ever so subtly that you're not actually a washed fucking actor. Okay, holy shit. You are kind of washed up.
Big time fucking triggered. So triggered he's calling Ryan Gosling washed. I doubt he'd be talking about him like this if Ray wasn't connected to this movie. This guy is such a fucking crybaby.
The reason this really fucking irks me, man, the reason this really gets to me is like I defended Sean. I said, and I gotta stop doing this. I gotta fucking stop doing this because I'm fucking sick of these people. Okay, so I said literally publicly, and I said to other people and whatnot, that I was like, dude, Sean had every door in the world open to him. Sean had this vision. He had this idea for Star Wars. He had this story. His thing was eating him up inside. He had to let it out. He had to do it. Well, I'm sorry, dude. It doesn't fucking matter when your pitch gets brought in front of Kathleen Kennedy, the wicked fucking witch of Lucasfilm, and she says, well, that sounds like a really interesting story that you've been passionate about, Sean. What if we connected that to like my shit? What? Yeah, my shit. Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. Rey is the Obi-Wan. Because you can't tell me. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm trying to say. I'll say it a different way. You can't tell me that this guy, with all due respect to Sean, you cannot tell me that this guy that was affected by this fucking franchise back in the day, that Empire changed his life, and this, that, second, and the third, that has had this vision for a Star Wars movie for his whole fucking career. I'm sorry, brother. You cannot turn around and tell me that after 25 years of being in the fandom, you're going to turn around and do your fucking dream project, and it's an all roads leads to Rey, goobly glook, fucking half-baked fix of the sequel trilogy. Get the fuck out of my face. That is stupid. That is fucking corporate bullshit. That is gaslighting. That is some corporation trying to just say, you know what? Well, this asset is fucking valuable, so we're gonna fucking prove it's valuable. We're gonna get the fucking Deadpool Wolverine guy, and he's gonna make a movie where it all leads to fucking Rey. So everybody that liked Deadpool is gonna like fucking Rey. That's not how that shit works, man.
To me, this just sounds like a massive cope. This guy does not know what Sean Levy wanted in his movie or not. He has no clue if Sean is totally okay with Rey being in the film or not. He's just making assumptions to get triggered about. And he doesn't bring up Dave Filoni at all. How do you explain Dave Filoni loving the sequel trilogy, loving Rey, despite being a longtime Star Wars fan? How? How would that be no different from Sean Levy doing that exact same thing? Wanting Rey in his film. They're the same. It's the same fucking thing. And of course these guys, they always blame Kathleen Kennedy when she really just handles the business side of Lucasfilm. The man in charge of the creative direction of the franchise is Dave Filoni. He wouldn't have the job he has at Lucasfilm if his vision for Star Wars did not align with Kathleen Kennedy's. To disagree with that is pure fucking cope.
And so you have fucking ripped from my fucking chest the last little bit of hope that I could float towards this fucking dead-ass franchise, that maybe some motherfucker with a vision that actually had artistic integrity would take these characters, take the spirit, take the motifs, the fucking values that Star Wars had, and actually cook in the 21st century. But no, that's not what we can get, because there's a fucking gatekeeper. There's a fucking gatekeeper, and it's this bitch, dude. It's this fucking...
Hey, man. Don't get too attached to things. Learn to let go.
We're cooked. Okay? We're fucking cooked. And the thing is, it's not just that she's here fucking it up, because she is and has been, but she will be. That's the part that's so fucked up. She's out here saying, I'll fucking die making movies. I'm never leaving this, that, second, that, third. I'm going to hover over Dave Filoni's shoulder, and I'm going to make him put Rey into every goddamn project for the next 5 to 6 years, because you were mean to me on the internet, Star Wars fans. So now I'm going to piss all over your precious Skywalker franchise. Oh my God!
This is what these idiots actually believe, that Kathleen Kennedy is forcing Dave Filoni to interject all this sequel trilogy shit in his projects. Dave loves the sequels. He loves Rey. What Kathleen Kennedy wants in Star Wars, so does he. Stop putting all the blame on this fucking woman, you dickhead.
I can't get over this whole obsession with Rey, man. And I just want to like double, triple down on this and really get people to realize what's going on, okay? So again, this is not a story-driven thing. Okay, there's nobody in the fucking world. Maybe I shouldn't say nobody in the world because maybe there's a couple people, right? But there's nobody that grew up on Star Wars, that had their life affected by Star Wars, that's like my age or, you know, older or a little bit younger. There's nobody that loves Star Wars, super passionate about Star Wars, that has this burning desire to do a Rey movie or to make content about Rey, right? That's just not a thing, guys, okay? I'm sorry, but that is the elephant in the room. That is the whole fucking conversation. That's the whole thing that we're talking about here.
Dave Filoni is literally that. How many times do we have to tell you morons? He loves Rey. We don't call Sabine Rey 2.0 for nothing. She's exactly like her. All the problems with Rey, Sabine has as well, and Dave Filoni doesn't give a fuck because he likes those kinds of characters, those Mary Sues. He loves it.
It's a bad character. You fucked up the sequel trilogy. It's a bad character. I'll just say it again. You fucked up the sequel trilogy. It's a bad character. Now, I'm all about rehabilitation. I think you could rehabilitate the character, but that doesn't feel like that's what you're doing. It doesn't feel like that's what's happening, right?
And there it is, folks. At the end of the day, he thinks Rey can be rehabilitated, whatever that means. At the end of the day, these guys want Disney Star Wars to succeed, and in doing so, they become Rey fanboys whether they like it or not. Because even the stuff set in the Mandoverse, the Mando era, all of that shit, everything Dave Filoni does links to the sequels. Because all roads lead to the sequel trilogy and to Rey Skywalker. I've said this for a very long time. Josh has been saying it only recently because he's big time triggered.
So let's talk about Lucasfilm and their plan for Rey beyond this movie and what they've been doing. Because Sean and this film, yes, it came together over the last year or so, but there have been many pitches, many different things that have been going on. So the main thing is, we know that the Rey film and Rey as a character has been something that Lucasfilm has been obsessed with going back to. In the original version of the Damon Lindelof movie, which was the version of the Rey movie before Charmin Obed-Chinoy, they were actually going to age Rey up. They were going to have Rey in her 60s or 70s, played by a completely different actress, and they were just going to move past that era, but they were still going to use Rey. Now, we don't know exactly what happened there. We don't know the exact beef between, Lindelof and his writing partner and Kathy and all of that. But what we do know is that basically within a 2-week period of handing that script in, Kathy went on stage and literally brings Daisy Ridley out on stage.
Yes, that original version of that story, if it was actually supposed to be that, just sounds awful. Like everything Disney Star Wars puts out, it sounds awful. And you know who else was on that stage with Kathleen Kennedy and Daisy Ridley when she came out? Dave Filoni, but of course Josh doesn't mention that.
Let me just... there's a reason I get into such detail. There's a reason I get so hyper fixated on certain things, and I want to try to explain why. What this indicates is that Lindelof was likely told to make a movie about Rey. Now, we don't know that 100%, right? But doesn't that make sense, guys? Doesn't that make sense that, like, Lindelof wants to do a Star Wars, or maybe Kathy approaches him on a Star Wars? There's this whole idea right here. Again, because there's no fucking way in hell that a person like Damon Lindelof, do you understand what I'm saying here? There's basically a 0% chance that Lindelof was sitting around with the perfect Rey movie idea.
This really is a stupid take because plenty of writers get hired to write scripts for stories they didn't think of originally. And again, Dave Filoni loves Rey. He would not have a single problem writing and directing his own Rey movie. I'm sure he would fucking love that. And I'm not the first person to say this, but I guarantee that the moment Rey is in a story written or directed by Dave Filoni, Josh, Theory, all of these fence riders, all these fake fans, these secret Disney Rey lovers are gonna start defending Rey and start saying, let's give Dave Filoni a chance, let's give Rey another chance. It's so obvious these guys are so fucking predictable.
What happened was Kathy said, hey, Mr. Damon Lindelof, please make us a movie about Rey. Now, Lindelof's movie, who knows whether or not Kathy was super down with Rey being older or not, but because I know the type of writer that Lindelof is, and I just know how his mind works, I'm going to just say that I think he probably took the idea into the natural place that he would want to see the story, and he wants to go way into the future. And he's not really interested in Daisy Ridley, but sure, maybe there could be something interesting in the character of Rey, especially if you go 30, 40 years into the future. Okay, and you can look at some of his other stuff. Like, I think even Watchmen is a good example of this, where a lot of the juice of his Watchmen show is in conceiving of what would happen in the future with those characters, far into the future, right?
A story about an older Rey or a story about a Rey 10 years after Rise of Skywalker both sound awful. One does not sound better than the other, so why are you even bringing it up, you dickhead?
Anyway, the point is this. Lucasfilm wants some Rey shit. Lindelof's writing this thing. Now, for Daisy Ridley to be brought out on stage within 2 weeks of that script being turned in, what that indicates is that there had been meetings going on and that Kathy was thinking about bringing Daisy back basically the entire time. Now, I don't know this for sure, but it is possible that Kathy told Damon, make me a Rey movie, and then she went to Daisy and said, I have Damon Lindelof on a Rey movie. This is going to be so incredible. And then it's possible that Kathy sits down and looks at the script and is like, oh my fucking God, this dude wants to do a 70-year-old Rey that's not even Daisy Ridley. Well, guess what? I'm sorry, you're fired. And I'm bringing Daisy out on stage. And now we're going to hire Steve Knight, and Steve Knight isn't even the writer anymore.
Stop putting all the blame on Kathleen Kennedy when Dave Filoni is the executive creative director of Lucasfilm. If someone is hiring people to write movies for Lucasfilm, it's Dave Filoni. If someone is going to be reviewing the scripts and make revisions and changes and veto ideas, it's not Kathleen Kennedy, it's the executive creative director who runs the creative side of Lucasfilm, Dave fucking Filoni.
So why did I just go through that last 5 minutes to explain all of that bullshit to you? The main reason is because this is basically the same goobly glock that fucking Lucasfilm has always done. This is the same reason that they fucked up the sequel trilogy. It's the same reason they're fucking this up right now. It's not about story. It's not about characters. It's not about vision. It's not even about brand, really. It's about Kathy, her assets, her character, and the things she desires.
You do not know that. Not everything is a result of Kathleen Kennedy's ego. Trying to expand on the sequel era is having a vision for the saga, for the story, and for these characters. It's not all corporate bullshit. Sometimes people actually do have creative ideas.
And not to say you can't make corporate art like this, because you can. You absolutely can. But just understand what's happening. Understand that Kathy and the leadership at Lucasfilm, at least part of the leadership there, is just trying to get Rey to be a continuously valuable asset for the company. Doubling down on the character that was created during the sequel trilogy. That's what it's about.
That is the only choice they have. Unless they completely retcon Disney Star Wars as a whole, you have to continue the story somehow. There's no point in setting stories prior to the sequels. In order for Disney Star Wars as a whole to have any sort of staying power, they need to expand on the sequels and its characters.
And so again, this is why, like, the Levy thing, it breaks my heart to say, but I can't get excited about Sean Levy's vision and this thing he worked on for years and years and years, because it is essentially a rehabilitation movie for the character of Rey. Again, no way Damon Lindelof is sitting around thinking about a Rey movie. No fucking way Sean Levy is sitting around thinking about a Rey movie. That's just not how that shit works. Nobody sits around and thinks about, hey, that terrible ass character from that trilogy that almost killed this franchise I love. Oh, dude, what's the story with that character? Like, do you understand what I'm saying here? Do you understand what I'm fucking saying here, guys? Nobody's doing that shit. So that did not happen. That's not what's happening. What's happening is some fucking suit. It's a pantsuit, you know. It's Kathy. So she is out there trying to court talent and fucking weave this evil web of getting them to basically just do what she wants them to do. They become her hands, and that's why it's fucked up.
His hatred for Kathleen Kennedy is genuinely deranged. and his unwillingness to blame anyone other than her is fucking retarded. And you do not know what Sean Levy wanted to do. You do not know what kind of story he wanted to tell. Maybe he is telling the exact story he wanted with Rey added on at the end. I doubt she's going to be a main focus of the film. Just because it's about taking the kid to Rey doesn't mean Rey is a focus of the film. She is not one of the main characters, dickhead. So it's not going to be about rehabilitating this character. It's going to be about Ryan Gosling's character and the child. And maybe Amy Adams if that character even lives.
So let's just go over this then. We had the fucking Simon Kinberg trilogy, right? That's 3 movies that are all supposed to be with Rey. It would appear like this is the way that I'm kind of seeing this is it seems like Levy's movie is like, oh, here's what the galaxy looks like and we got to get this kid to Rey. And then it feels like then we got Rey. We're going to do the Charmin Obed Chinoy movie, which explores her and the new Jedi. Okay. Then that movie is likely then to lead into episode 10, episode 11, episode 12. That's the plan for Rey, guys. So you have, and I would say 5, I said 5 Rey movies. I would say this all the time. I'd be like, I hope you guys realize you're getting 5 Rey movies, maybe even 6 actually, because I've heard there's another one that's going to have Rey in there as well. So 6 Rey movies. It's not a joke. It's not a meme. It's not a worst case scenario. It is the fucking plan. It is what they are doing. They are giving you a new movie that leads to Rey. Then they're giving you a movie that's all about Rey. Then they're giving you a trilogy of movies in which Rey will be a huge, huge part of it. So I ask you, chat, how does 5 Rey movies feel? How does the future of Star Wars feel to you, knowing that that is what they are doing?
It feels like a plan that actually makes sense. Hate to say it, and if these movies actually release, I guarantee that most people in the general audience are actually going to be okay with it. They're going to be fine with these movies. They don't get big time triggered by Rey like Josh and all these other faggots in this fandom who pretend to hate Disney Star Wars, but actually wanted to secretly succeed.
What if Amy Adams is Mara Jade and the kid is Luke's son? So that's like basically next to impossible now. And actually now, if they did that, I would hate it. Because what that would indicate is Luke actually had a biological son and was knocking boots with Mara on the island when Ben was around, and it never gets fucking mentioned. No way. 0% chance. Like, and by the way, like, hey, maybe that's something they want to do. Worst idea ever. The stupidest fucking idea I've ever heard in my fucking life. No way.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the only good take Josh has had throughout this entire video.
You know, there's this thing that happens, man. I don't know exactly how to explain this, but like, maybe you didn't notice. I really don't like Rey. And it just, there's something about like when they just keep trying to make Rey happen, it just pisses me off so much. Like, I could actually just not like Rey and that would be fine. But like now we're to the point where I don't just not like Rey. I'm going to act irresponsibly whenever Rey gets brought up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at.
Listen to this guy. He sounds like such a dweeb.
Holy shit. Like, it is really a depressing state of affairs. My God, Star Wars. My God. And like, look, I'm sorry. I'm telling you right now. This hate machine is fully operational, okay? I'm back on Nerd Theory, and real talk, I'm gonna fucking flame this movie every chance I get up until it releases. I'm gonna make it my personal mission to spread the gospel of how much bullshit is going on in this film to as many people as possible. Every chance I get for the next fucking year, I am going to get super toxic about Rey. Super toxic about this movie. Like, that's what it is. I'm sorry, man. Fuck you. That's what it is.
See, the problem with this, Josh, is that you're confusing getting triggered with being toxic. You're crying like a bitch, and you think you're being toxic when really you just look pathetic. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up flip-flopping on his opinion and actually starts to defend the film a little. And he's still gonna go see it in the cinema, he's still gonna give Disney his money. So what is he really complaining about? It doesn't matter because he's still a Disney fanboy at the end of the day.
The problem is, the leak says that the plot revolves around getting the child to Rey. So it's hard for me to imagine rehabilitation for that character when she's not a part of the plot. She's like a tool of the plot, right? And I mean, look, I would love to be wrong, and I'll stand corrected if they actually handle this the right way. There is a way that they could rehabilitate Rey. I don't know that this is the way to do it. This could be the intro into it, but again, it just feels like a faulty idea. If you want to rehabilitate Rey, rehabilitate Rey. You know what I mean?
Again, he thinks Rey can be rehabilitated. I personally don't think that's possible. And the movie is not trying to rehabilitate her, even if she's in it. That's retarded.
Darth Baba says, last good experience I had was Revenge of the Sith re-release, and glad it was the last. I mean, it was very good. Yes, that was incredible. That was incredible to experience in the theater. Yeah.
Yes, it was so incredible how you and all these other fake fans gave Disney your money and went and saw that movie in the cinema. It made almost $50 million worldwide. Everyone who went to see that film contributed to making Disney $50 million. I hope you're proud of yourselves. All these so-called Disney haters, gladly giving Disney their money. Absolute idiots.
Hopefully, Iger's departure will spur some change. Well, yeah, I mean, I think Iger, Kathy, a lot of these older folks are on the way out, and I think Disney needs new life and everything like that. The problem with Star Wars is just like, is Dave gonna just keep this plan, right? Like, if real talk, if Starfighter bombs, which at this point I'm literally rooting for it to bomb, how gross is that? How fucked up is that? This is what you created. You took a thing that I was actually really looking forward to, that I wanted to support, and now I'm rooting for it to fail. Why? Because a corporation decided that thing had to connect to one of its valuable assets. It's inorganic. It's not natural. It kills my suspension of disbelief. It's these fucking suits trying to get this creative person to do their bidding. And that has made me want to root against you. It's disgusting. I hate it. I hate that that's where we're at, but that's what it is.
I really don't get this logic. There's no logic here at all, actually. It kills your suspension of disbelief that Rey is even in the film? How? How? It's set after the sequels. If there are Jedi out there, they're gonna know about Rey eventually. They might want to get their kid to Rey eventually to train in a Jedi Order. Who knows? It doesn't really make that much sense that you're fucking so confused by this. And he's upset that he hopes this Disney film will fail. Because he's a Disney fanboy and he wants Disney Star Wars to succeed. Because he's a fake fan. Anyone who loves Disney Star Wars and holds it up as real Star Wars is a fucking fake fan, and their opinions about the franchise are irrelevant.
And God, I just think this is such a stupid, terrible idea. I just want to strongly push back against this, chat. That's all. You know, sorry if you like it or whatever, or you think I'm being really toxic or whatever. I'm sorry, man. But I just want to strongly push back against this.
You're not being toxic. You're being a crybaby.
I mean, the movie is essentially all about getting a Force-sensitive kid to Rey, which is really to establish that Rey is the new Luke Skywalker, the new Jedi Master of this post-sequel era of Star Wars. Like, that is essentially what it is. Okay, so that's what the fucking movie is, dude.
That could definitely be an aspect of the film, but to say that's the whole plot of the film is a little stupid. Mandalorian Season 2, who was taking that kid to a Jedi, it ended up being Luke, but you wouldn't say the whole show was about Luke Skywalker, or getting to Luke, specifically. No, that's an aspect of that show, but it's not the whole fucking show, dickhead.
You cannot tell me that Sean Levy is a lifetime Star Wars fan, meaning he got into Star Wars when it was good. And years and years later, as an adult, his dream, his vision, the pitch for him to take to Kathy is this Rey movie. There's just 0% chance that that's what it is. There's no way. And if it is that way, Sean needs to come out and say that. Sean needs to be like, no, I actually am one of those guys that loved Rey. And here's why I love Rey. And here's why we want to make Rey and all that, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. And in fact, I think they're going to play hide the Rey, and they're going to act like they don't know what it is. And they're going to like Trojan horse a Rey thing into a Sean Levy Star Wars movie. Is that not what it is? I feel like that's what it is.
No, that is not what it is, you retard.
If it's not that, then just tell us the whole movie's about Rey. Why not just tell us the whole movie's about Rey? Why not just admit that the whole pitch revolves around taking this character to Rey, and that's really meaningful and important to you as a storyteller, and here's why.
They're not going to tell you the whole movie's about Rey because the whole movie is not about Rey.
I doubt that's going to happen. Okay? So I have a problem with it. Now, here's the thing. Does Sean maybe have this really cool idea for a Star Wars movie? Probably. Does Sean have a really cool idea for a Star Wars movie that involves taking a young, Force-sensitive kid to some Jedi Master? Yeah, he probably does. And in fact, it was probably Luke Skywalker. Like, let's just be fucking real. If he's any kind of Star Wars fan, like a real Star Wars fan, then he probably had a version of a movie inside his head for years and years and years that involved a young shonen-like adventure where a smuggler-type character takes some kid to older Luke Skywalker because he probably read The Legacy of the Force and all the Zahn books and all that kind of shit, if he's a real fan, right? So he probably had the idea for this, and then it gets just transported into Reyland sequel trilogy Star Wars thing.
Disney Star Wars fans should never try and be the authority on who is and is not a real fan. And I guarantee that Star Wars Theory has never read Legacy of the Force. He pretends like he reads the EU, but really he doesn't. There's plenty of evidence to prove so. And just because someone may have read Legacy of the Force doesn't make them a real fan, by the way. If you haven't read it, and you also don't consider Disney Star Wars canon, that doesn't magically make you someone who isn't a real fan just because you haven't read a specific series of books.
It's hard for me to not see this for a corporate strategy rather than a story that is like beating inside somebody's heart that needs to be told.
Just because you don't think this is a story someone would want to tell, doesn't mean it's a story that someone would not want to tell. Dave Filoni would love to tell a story like this. That's why it's happening, because he's the executive creative director and he's making all the creative decisions.
And it's a repeating of a lot of the same mistakes that I think Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy has been doing, which is mostly that they treat it as product. There's no integrity of the story. There's no vision for what they're trying to do. It's all just product. I think that is proven just kind of over and over again in how they handle it. And I think that Lucasfilm ultimately has earned this rep. So even if you don't hate the Rey character, I think it's still worth being like, wait a minute. So they took how many years away, and they've had all of this time, and yet they're still just focused on trying to protect the assets that they created during that time period that was so bad that they needed to take a long break from the theaters.
So the Starfighter film is going to establish what the sequel era is like, and then it's going to lead into a Rey movie, and then it's going to lead into a Rey trilogy. That almost sounds like a vision for Star Wars. So what the hell are you even talking about? And this constant blaming of a Kathleen Kennedy. She's not the only one doing this. Your Lord and Savior Dave Filoni has an equal part to play.
Where's the sequel trilogy content? After Rise of Skywalker, where's the sequel trilogy content? It doesn't exist. So it doesn't exist. And yet now 6 years later, we're going to return to theaters with a movie that is like an in-between chapter of trilogies that's meant to reestablish Rey as like the leader of the new Jedi. It's just so crazy, dude.
Where's the sequel trilogy content? I don't know, it seems like we're getting it in the Starfighter, in this new Rey movie, in this new Rey trilogy. This guy has no clue what he's talking about.
This is truly, to me, Very, very wild. Now, the other thing that I want to say about this is, because I know that there's going to be a lot of people, so we're going to talk about this with theory tonight, and I'm going to get super fucking toxic. Like, I'm sorry, I am. I think this is bullshit, and I'm so far past trying to be careful about talking about this on the internet, right? It's going to be super toxic.
By super fucking toxic, he actually means super fucking triggered.
But I brought this up as a negative, and the number one reason I said this is such a terrible idea is because you are locking in for more terribly divisive and toxic discourse, guaranteed. Does anybody disagree with that? Like, isn't that obvious? Wasn't it always obvious that if you really want to make 5 more movies focusing on Rey, isn't it obvious that if you really want to make the future of the franchise focusing on the main character of the most divisive thing, the most divisive Star Wars trilogy, wasn't it always obvious that you were about to have a bad fucking time? And this is the thing that I can't stand about Kathy. This is the thing that I can't stand a lot about Hollywood. I think Hollywood does this shit a lot too. It's like they want to act on the one hand, they want to act like there's this whole world of voices and output in people that are so irritable and terrible that they feel a responsibility to push back against this whole big group of terrible people by putting all this bullshit into the content, and yet they can't actually take a step back from that and acknowledge that what they are admitting is that a whole bunch of the people that are literally the customer actually don't like all this shit.
Why is that a problem? That sounds great to me. I'm totally fine with people being divided, people hating on Disney Star Wars. You can't handle that because you're a Disney fanboy.
And the thing is, a lot of fans are going to be upset that it's going to get toxic, and it's going to get toxic fast, and it's going to be toxic the entire fucking time as we lead to it. That's not a great thing, right? I mean, I'm not pumped for it. I think there are some people that are pumped for it, right? There are some people that are licking their chops and really, really excited, okay? I'm not even that pumped for it, but that's what it's going to be. And I think there are many fans that are going to watch what's about to happen, that are going to see it go down, and they're going to blame people like me.
This guy's ego is out of fucking control. Get a fucking grip, dude. You're nobody. The only significant thing about you is your weight and the fact that you scammed your fans out of money, promising a comic for them that you never delivered.
And then you're going to turn around and like just blame them. But like, come on, man, you got to be the adult in the room.
Yeah, the people at Lucasfilm, they have to be the adult in the room because you're just a crybaby.
You know what I mean? So this situation sucks ass. This situation sucks ass, dude. And I kind of can't believe that they're doing this. It's funny because like many people called me out after this because yes, we have technically been talking about this for years, and it was always kind of lingering and you know, it was always like a concern. It was always there. But really and truly, the Levy movie, I was starting to get hyped. I was like, oh shit, like maybe this could be cool, that could be cool. And I knew Rey, I mean, it's literally in the sequel era time period, so I always knew there would be some Rey shit. But dude, in my wildest dreams, did I really think the whole fucking plot would be about getting this kid to Rey? No. And that sucks. And I hate it. And I don't know that I will be able to be anything but super toxic and annoying about this. So, fuck it. Maybe that's just what we do. Maybe we just fucking roll with the punches and we just let them have the most toxic. That's what I was telling Theory. I was like, fuck it, man. Let's lean into it. Let's make this the most toxic Nerd Theory stream that we've ever done. Because if this is what they want to do, then I'm going to sit here. You know what I was thinking too? I was thinking about this. I think, and I'm going to bring this up on Nerd Theory too. I think Theory and I should watch this movie, and we should get a theater. We should try to watch it together. We should try to watch it with some Nerd Theory fans, okay? And you guys know that famous clip where at the end of the movie, all those Reylos were like, where the fuck is Ben? And they're like freaking out. Bro, we need to watch this movie. And then if it actually happens, dude, we need to create a moment like that where we lose our fucking minds in the theater. Like, I cannot fucking believe that they did this, and just lose our fucking minds. And to be honest with you, I'm probably watching this whole goddamn movie now like this.
You hear that, people? He wants to take Theory and their loser fans to see this movie in the cinema. He wants to give their money to Disney. Absolute fucking idiot. After all this complaining, he's still gonna give Disney his money. What a complete joke.
And so you have fucking ripped from my fucking chest because there's a fucking gatekeeper. And it's this bitch, dude. It's this fucking